Right here, Mavericks. Add one more team that the Celtics dismantled. I know Anthony Davis is no scrub. I get it and all that. But, like, in terms of teams trading away the best player after the Celtics whooped their ass in the playoffs, add one more to that list. Wow. I was not going to do a reaction to this because, again, this has nothing to do with Boston sports. But seeing that somebody said to me that the Boston Celtics officially broken another franchise, I figured, you know what, let's do it again. Let's do it anyways. What a trade. What an unbelievable trade that we're about to talk about here. A trade that just came out of left field. Nobody, and I mean nobody, could have predicted this coming. The Mavs and the Lakers making a trade that sends Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick. At first, I think just like all of you people, I thought there is no way this is real. There is no way that a team, I'm not even going to go into my thoughts on the trade yet. I was just about to, but like, you guys get where I'm going with this. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait for a reporter to confirm this tweet. Then Chris B. Haynes confirms the report, along with multiple other reporters saying that, yeah, no, this is real. This is not fake. This is a real thing. And that is when the sports world went, oh my God. This is by far the biggest trade in NBA history. In terms of this day, at least. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he just said upstairs. I probably wouldn't disagree with that. But you get what I'm saying, guys. This is up there. This is up there. This may be one of the top three. Obviously, if you want to say Kareem, I won't argue you with that one. Moses Malone, yeah, I'll argue with that. This guy is a generational player. And because, here's why. He's overseas. He's a global superstar. He's 25. He just carried the Mavs to the championship. Yeah, we can joke about all we want about his conditioning, how he's tubby, how he eats donuts for breakfast and everything else. But at the end of the day, he's only 25. He's turning 26 in March, I believe. He hasn't hit his prime yet. This is an unbelievable trade for the Los Angeles Lakers. This trade makes so much sense on their end because let me explain to you guys real quick on the trade details and everything else. So the Lakers get Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. The Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, a first-round pick from the Lakers via 2029. The Jazz, that doesn't really matter because there's not really much given up there. This is a great trade for the Los Angeles Lakers, not because of right now. This trade right now hurts their chances of winning a championship. But post-LeBron, however, you are set up to have a guy who is just hitting his prime right when LeBron retires. This is the next Lakers great for the next generation. And this opened their window to win even longer. It may have shortened it temporarily, but in the long haul, the championship window for them is wide open because you're going to have a generational talent for the next 10 years. We all know he's not great at defense. We all know that the conditioning thing is a big issue with him. But again, he's only 26. And I'm saying 26 because he's turning 26 very soon. I understand that there was no warning to Anthony Davis. There was no warning to LeBron James about this. Like, that's what the report is right now. But let's take a look at this from the Lakers' standpoint. If the rumors are true, and Nico Harrison is calling you up and saying, do you want Luka Doncic? You have to entertain it. You have to entertain it. You have to talk about it. You have to have a conversation about it because getting a top 6, top 5 player in the world before he hits his prime doesn't happen very often. It don't. So yes, the Lakers might be saying, yeah, well, this might punt our chances at a championship right now. And maybe even next year. But we're looking at this after the LeBron James era. We're going to have still a top 6, top 5 player in the world who is just hitting his prime that we can build around. Who has the same play style as LeBron James. This makes so much sense in the world for the Lakers' future. This opens their championship window even further. Like I said, it may have shortened it for the short term, but for the long term, I think this helps them out. Now let's go to the Mavericks. I have no idea what the hell they are thinking. Although they are saying defense wins championships, and I agree with that. But Anthony Davis is 31, 32 years old. The man's always had trouble staying healthy on the court. He's had a ton of injury history. Why? Why would you give up a franchise player for a guy who's 31, 32? Not saying he's a scrub. We all know Anthony Davis is a top 15 player in the world. Why would you give up Luka Doncic, who is a generational talent? He is your franchise. He is your franchise. At 25 years old, why would you give up Luka Doncic for an aging Anthony Davis, who has always had injury history, who can't stay on the floor consistently? Why would you do that? That makes zero sense in the Mavs. If I'm a Mavs fan, I am pissed. It might be fun for a little bit, but you're bringing in so many questions. I'd have to take a look off the top of my head of what Anthony Davis's numbers are for this season. I mean, I know that they're probably pretty good. He's played 42 games this season, which is high for Anthony Davis right now. You don't really see him play that many games this often this season. Last year, he played the most amount of games in a while, 76. So he stayed on the court last year. And he's looked alright this year, it seems like. 42 games this season. 26 points per game. But Luka Doncic shooting the ball, man, he is a marksman. And he, again, 25, 26 years old. Like, they don't think he can learn defense? How can you not learn defense? I don't know. I don't know what the Mavs are thinking. The Mavs, they thought short term and said, okay, this shortens our window, but does this give us the best chance now? And they really said, yeah. After Luka Doncic just brought them to the championship, they lost, but like whatever. He still brought them to the finals, and isn't this the reason? Wait a minute, isn't this the reason why they brought in Klay Thompson? Because he's a two-way player who can play defense. So bringing in Klay Thompson might have hid Luka Doncic's flaws on the defensive end. Isn't that why they just got Klay Thompson? This doesn't make any sense on the Mavs end. I'm having trouble finding a way to understand it on the Mavs end. And again, this is no knock on Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis is a phenomenal player. But the Lakers had to do this, man. They had to do it. They're probably thinking, yeah, sure, this shortens the window as of right now, like for the right now in the LeBron James era. But we have to do this. There's no way we can't do this. We can't say no to this. I probably wouldn't have said no to this. So that's why there was no communication with Anthony Davis and no LeBron James on this trade, because they were approached by this. And when you're getting offered a Luka Doncic who's only 25, hasn't even hit his prime yet, you have to take it. You have to take it. You have to. You understand this on the Lakers' standpoint completely. Completely you understand it. The Mavs, I don't know. If I'm a Mavs fan, I'm absolutely pissed. I'm absolutely pissed. What we're going to do right now also is we're going to react to a few videos on the trade. We are going to make this a long video because, yeah, this is a big trade. This is absolutely huge. Does this have anything to do with Boston sports? No, but at the same time, the Boston Celtics just dismantled another team by making them think that they have to trade one of their best players. What a dummy. That franchise. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that too? The Dallas Mavericks have to be they are the dumbest franchise in sports. They have to be the dumbest franchise in sports to even think that they have a better chance to win by trading for Anthony Davis but giving up Luka Doncic. You stupid. They gotta be the dumbest franchise in sports, thinking that this is a good idea, trading a guy who's 25, top 6, top 5 in the world, and hasn't even hit his prime yet. They gotta be absolutely dumb.
It is the Sports Center. Kevin Connors, Amina Smith here with you, and just a blockbuster. What's happening in the NBA right now? In the wee hours of this Sunday morning, just all hell has broken loose, Kevin.
An absolute blockbuster mega trade involving two of the biggest superstars in all of the NBA. We told you the two biggest names. Here's the complete deal. And Shams saying, yes, this is real because it didn't feel like it. Dallas sending Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the Lakers' first-round pick in 2029. The Utah Jazz had to get involved to make the whole thing happen. They land Jalen Hood-Schifino and a couple of second-round picks. But the big news is Luka to the Lakers, Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks. And we bring in Shams Charania, who broke this trade, and the internet. Shams, how did this deal materialize?
This deal materialized in the shadows. This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade, definitely that I've been a part of in recent NBA history, as far as it was never clearly out there. And you saw two teams in Rob Pelinka with the Lakers, Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison there doing this deal. And I'm told Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, the players, coaches, a lot of people on both sides with the Mavericks and Lakers had no idea. I can assuredly tell you it's a fact. LeBron James had no idea this was coming. Anthony Davis had no idea this was coming. I'm told Luka Doncic is still stunned about this trade. But when you look at the totality of what just occurred, Luka Doncic is a 25-year-old, like you said, mega star, perennial all-NBA player. He's someone that you think of as untouchable, as a guy that's never going to be traded. I'm told that the Mavericks actually approached the Lakers and offered Luka Doncic a few days ago.
Can you be? How dumb can you be? You really woke up one morning and said, hey, let's call the Lakers and offer Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Because we think that Anthony Davis is going to give us a better chance of winning a championship right now than Luka Doncic.
Stop it. Get some help.
What? Like I said, the Mavs franchise is a joke. I really thought Jerry Jones was one of the worst general managers in sports. And Nico Harrison really said, hold my beer, man. Hey, you know what? Something's going on in Dallas, man. Something's going on in Dallas. Those teams down there, they don't have too much common knowledge. The Cowboys, the Mavs. The only good teams in Dallas right now, really, that actually have a head on their shoulders, I would still put the Rangers in there. And the Dallas Stars. I still don't know what the Mavs are thinking.
Trade. Very recently, the Mavericks went out. They knew exactly who they wanted. They wanted Anthony Davis. That's the player that if they were ever going to trade Luka Doncic, if this was even a thought that was going to cross their mind, it was for AD. And so the Mavericks called the Lakers, offered Luka Doncic, and that's when the Lakers had to huddle internally. They've never offered Anthony Davis ever in a trade. But if you're going to get offered Luka Doncic, that's when Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, and that organization, they had to meet. And it's Luka Doncic at the end of the day. And they went out, and he's a 25-year-old player. For the next decade, you can look at him as the face of your franchise. And on the other side, with the Mavericks, you have someone who's 31. He's in the prime of his career. He wants to win a championship now, Anthony Davis does. And you pair him with Kyrie Irving, who he's friends with and close with. Jason Kidd.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. This is what Kyrie Irving wanted to do when he was on the Celtics. He wanted the Celtics to trade for Anthony Davis. Remember the whole, the Pelicans want Jason Tatum and everything else, right? Like, this is what Kyrie's vision was when he was here in Boston. He wanted Anthony Davis here in Boston. But obviously, we know now, obviously, he went to the Lakers, and that was basically like this is it for Kyrie. Remember when Anthony Davis' dad came out and said, I would never want my son to play for the Boston Celtics after what they did to Isaiah Thomas? About that, man. I guess the Lakers just did that to your son. It's a business, man. But wow. Wow.
Coached him on the 2020 championship Lakers. Jared Dudley, there's other members of that coaching staff that he's very close with, and Nico Harrison he has a relationship with through Nike. So you take the curtains back, and it makes a lot of sense in many ways. But this coming right now, it's the most stunning trade that I've definitely been a part of.
Shams, I got to backtrack for a minute here. Anthony Davis is 31. He's been in the league 12, 13 years. He's a superstar. But Luka Doncic is 25 years old and a perennial MVP candidate who you could make a case has not even hit the prime of his career. Why move him?
Right.
I think a few factors. He's going to be Supermax eligible coming up in this upcoming summer. A massive extension. And we have seen Luka Doncic over the last...
There's confusion about that, too, because people are saying, oh, now he got traded. He won't get the Supermax extension. The Lakers hold his bird rights now. So, Luka still is eligible for that Supermax this summer. Because technically, the Mavs are handing over his contract to the Lakers. Now it's like Luka's getting his rights transferred over to the Lakers. I can get that for you while this video is still going on. But I want to say I'm 95% certain he's still eligible for a Supermax this offseason.
Last few years, deal with injuries. There's been a lot made about his conditioning and how he is, but that's something the Mavericks have had to manage and handle year after year. But at the end of the day, he is Luka Doncic. He is a stud in every way, and that's why it is certainly fascinating that the Mavericks ended up deciding to trade him. But this is clearly something that they feel Anthony Davis is better suited for this team to win a championship. They just lost Derek Lively for an extended period of time, potentially the next 3 months. They lost Maxi Kleber to a fracture in his foot. He was a part of this trade. So you have a clear need at the big spot. You got Kyrie Irving in a trade a couple years ago. He's going to be eligible himself for a massive deal coming up this summer. He's got a player option. So when you think about team building, was having potential when you look at it, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, maybe very similar players. What this team was missing was having that dominant 1A, 1B co-star big man. And at the end of the day, in the NBA, we saw LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they won a championship. Usually when you have a couple bigger players, you have a chance to win. When you have two guards leading the way, clearly the Mavericks feel Anthony Davis is better suited to help them win a championship right now.
It's a 10 on the Richter scale tonight in the NBA. Shams Charania, great job breaking the news and being with us tonight on SportsCenter.
Okay, so I'm reading it right and trying to read it right now. In the next video that I'm going to react to real quick, I'm going to try and get that information for you guys. But I am almost certain that his bird rights just get transferred over to the Lakers. So that would make him Supermax eligible. Listen, if he's not Supermax eligible right now, then I think he stays with the Lakers next season. He doesn't sign the contract, and then in the offseason, when he is eligible, he'll just sign it. Let's react to let's react to Flight Mike, because he's a Laker fan. This is a Laker fan's perspective.
Ever gonna trade Luka Doncic? If this was even a thought that was gonna cross their mind, it was for AD. This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade, definitely that I've been a part of. Players, coaches, a lot of people on both sides with the Mavericks and Lakers had no idea.
My heart is currently racing. I am still in disbelief. At the time that I'm recording this video, we're within 5 minutes of officially receiving this news. I currently am hearing people honking their horns in the background because I live in Los Angeles, and it's because the Los Angeles Lakers easily just swung the biggest trade in their franchise's history. A trade that I didn't even think is possible. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NBA news to your device. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro.
Will now accept his player option in 2026-2027 to guarantee him that Supermax. Like, if he's not eligible right now, obviously.
Ever since I've gotten this sponsorship, I've been trying to figure out a way to game the system so I can. Mahomes needs his one picks to get $50 when you make a play of. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I've mentioned on this YouTube channel that I was expecting a very slow trade deadline. I mean, apart from what we've been hearing in regards to Jimmy Butler and what we've been hearing about De'Aaron Fox, two storylines that I will admit I was getting kind of tired of covering. I didn't really expect any star players to be available at the trade deadline. I didn't expect a trade deadline like last year or even the year prior. Hell, even on this YouTube channel, one of the biggest jokes I've always made is Photoshop Luka Doncic into a Los Angeles Lakers jersey. The Luka Doncic.
Quick side note, here's a quick little fun story time for you guys. So anytime Mike comes over to the house, we play NBA 2K franchise. We do a fantasy draft or whatever, and I'm always taking Jason Tatum. Who is he always taking? He's always taking Luka Doncic. He'd give me the Boston Celtics because, like, he's like, yep, you're the guy with the channel, you're the Boston sports guy, you get the Celtics. He always takes the Lakers.
Doncic era has been a very tricky era for the Dallas Mavericks since selecting him number 3 overall in the 2018 NBA draft, which without a doubt was seen as the right pick to make. They acquired Luka as a result of a trade including Trae Young, but if you take a look at the opening picks of the NBA draft, I mean, DeAndre Ayton was selected number 1 overall by the Phoenix Suns, and ultimately due to a lack of desire to succeed in the NBA, he ended up getting traded to the Portland Trail Blazers in the Damian Lillard trade. Marvin Bagley was taken number 2 overall, and it didn't take Sacramento Kings fans very long to realize that he was not going to fulfill the billing of a number 2 overall pick. Luka Doncic was perceived as the future face of the NBA, but there's a huge question as to how to build around Luka Doncic. In his rookie year, the Dallas Mavericks swung a huge trade, bringing in Kristaps Porzingis to team up with Luka Doncic, and they did a masterful job building around him. Throughout this era, they also got Jalen Brunson, but ultimately Kristaps Porzingis wouldn't be the ideal running mate for Luka Doncic. During the 2021-22 season, in the season that Kristaps Porzingis did get traded to the Washington Wizards, Luka and Jalen Brunson would lead the Mavericks to their first Western Conference appearance. But the Dallas Mavericks would end up lowballing Jalen Brunson, and ultimately Brunson would walk to the Knicks. So there was a huge question as to who Luka Doncic's new running mate would be, because it was clear that Luka Doncic was capable of taking the Mavericks very deep into the playoffs. The question was, what would be the ideal team to build around Luka in order to achieve that? In the middle of the 2022-23 season, the Dallas Mavericks decided to strike on a great opportunity, trading for Kyrie Irving and pairing him with Luka. That combined with the fact that they tanked towards the end of the season put them in a situation where new general manager Nico Harrison could draft Derek Lively in the offseason. And last year, you have to admit, the Dallas Mavericks absolutely cooked. In the middle of the season, they made huge trades for Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. This combined with Luka Doncic's best season to date, in a season where he averaged 34 points per game, 9.8 assists per game, and 9.2 rebounds per game, was good enough to take the Dallas Mavericks all the way to the NBA Finals. But alas, they met a Boston Celtics team that was significantly stronger than they were. But there was once again a light at the end of the tunnel. And as a result, the Mavericks doubled down on their core of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. If you guys remember, in the offseason, the Los Angeles Lakers heavily pursued Klay Thompson, to the point where LeBron James was even willing to take a pay cut if it meant getting Klay Thompson on his team. Ultimately, Klay Thompson would sign with the Dallas Mavericks, but that's not all the Mavericks would do. Former Los Angeles Lakers guard Spencer Dinwiddie felt like he would have a better chance to contend if he also joined the Dallas Mavericks. That, combined with Najee Marshall, gave the Dallas Mavericks optimism for being able to compete in the Western Conference. But there was one thing that they could have never anticipated: the injury bug. So far, Luka Doncic has only played in 22 games. When he does play, the Dallas Mavericks are incredible, but that's the problem. When you play in less than half of the games of the season, there's very little chance that you are going to be able to compete. When you consider the fact that Luka Doncic's contract expires in the 2027 season, and the Dallas Mavericks have not been able to get him an NBA championship yet, you can understand that there may be some skepticism from Luka's end in regards to being able to get the job done. So according to Shams Charania, in one of the craziest trades that I have ever had the pleasure to cover on on this YouTube channel, and still a trade that I can't believe is happening. The Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. This is a 3-team deal that includes the Utah Jazz. At the time that I'm recording this video, I'm anticipating that 2029 pick is unprotected because that's the only way I could rationalize making a trade like this for the Dallas Mavericks. And even
I can't rationalize it because you only get one pick out of it. There should have been at least 2 or 3 picks involved in this going to the Mavericks' way. With Anthony Davis. Yeah, I don't care. I get it. AD, top 15 player in the league. He's no scrub, whatever. But the fact that you didn't get... I don't think they got anywhere close to the compensation that they needed to trade off Luka Doncic. They needed to at least be a couple more picks in this trade going to the Mavs' way. This is such a stupid trade. I can't stress that enough. How stupid this was for the Dallas Mavericks. Everybody's like, wow, why? Why did they trade Luka? Everybody's astonished by this.
Then I'm having some trouble buying into it. The Utah Jazz are going to get Jalen Hood-Schifino, the Los Angeles Clippers second-round pick, and a Dallas Mavericks second-round pick. When this trade broke, I thought Shams was hacked, but then he would consistently double down and provide more insight as to why the Mavericks would make this trade. Historically, Luka Doncic has spoken about how much he loves LeBron James.
Who was your favorite player growing up in the NBA that you admired? LeBron James.
And at the same time, LeBron James has mentioned that he would love to play with Luka.
He's my favorite.
Luka cold. Luka bad.
But he a lot like you to me.
Yeah. Me and Luka, we good.
And he would mention this on multiple different occasions.
He's gigantic.
I mean, he's gigantic. He's 6'8" point guard. That's why I love his vision. He can control a game. He doesn't even have to shoot.
You're gonna laugh at my take on this, but in terms of what this does for the Los Angeles Lakers immediately, the Lakers do slightly regress as a result of this trade. Primarily because their biggest issues came in the front court, and as a result of this trade, the front court gets a little weaker.
Yes.
The entire time we were covering the Los Angeles Lakers, we were talking about them looking at Jonas Valanciunas and Walker Kessler to try to make a trade to get AD an additional front court mate so they could be competitive and make a run in the playoffs, which makes a lot of sense considering how the Lakers are currently in 5th place and they're 4 games behind 2nd place. But now they are completely depleted on the front court. But of course, Laker fans know that this has nothing to do with trying to win immediately. This has more to do with the Los Angeles Lakers' future. LeBron James is 40 years old. So who are you going to depend on once LeBron James retires? Who is going to be the next face of the Los Angeles Lakers? Well, we now have our answer. And apparently this is how it went down behind the scenes. The Mavericks approached the Lakers recently and offered Luka Doncic. The Lakers brass met and believed the 25-year-old Luka Doncic has the ability to be the face of their franchise for the next decade while giving Anthony Davis a win-now move in Dallas. I'm sorry, respectfully, this doesn't make much sense for me from like the Dallas Mavericks perspective. And even now, I'm like grasping at straws trying to make this make sense. I mean, Luka Doncic is one of the biggest stars in the NBA, and the fact that you're trading him for a 31-year-old Anthony Davis is just preposterous. People think Shams Charania got hacked as a result of this. And the only way you could even rationalize a trade like this was because Luka Doncic could opt out in the 2026 season.
Sorry, guys. I had to sleep on this before I even made a video. And, I was set to wake up early in the morning to do this video, so I don't care what anybody says. The NBA is the best league in the world.
And he wasn't being consistent with the Dallas Mavericks in regards to his future with them. But it gets a little deeper. According to Tim McMahon, the Dallas Mavericks had major issues about moving forward with Luka due to his constant conditioning issues and the looming commitment of another Supermax contract extension this summer. And this is the craziest part of all. When they asked Mavs general manager Nico Harrison about this bizarre trade, he said, "I believe that defense wins championships. I believe that getting an all-defensive center and all-NBA player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future." That's
good luck with that against the Celtics. It's still Celtics in 5. It's still Celtics in 5. Wow, the disrespect towards Luka Doncic. They must have really hated Luka over there in Dallas. And I mean, the front office at least. They must have really hated him. The fact that they're taking this much jabs at him, talking about his conditioning, talking about how he don't play defense, saying that they have a better chance to win with an aging Anthony Davis over Luka Doncic, who haven't hit his prime yet. That is a huge slap in Luka Doncic's face.
Cool thing to say when you trade away the face of your franchise, but also Nico Harrison already made one of the biggest mistakes when describing Anthony Davis. AD hates being called a center, but personally, as a Los Angeles Laker fan, I want to thank Anthony Davis for his contributions to our team.
Yeah.
I mean, we would not have won that bubble championship, which totally counts, if it wasn't for Anthony Davis. I personally believe that AD does deserve to have his jersey retired with the Los Angeles Lakers. At the end of the day, for the Los Angeles Lakers, I grade this trade an A++. There's huge questions about what the Lakers' future was going to look like post LeBron. They now have that answer. Assuming that Luka Doncic doesn't pull a Dwight Howard and leave us. For the Dallas Mavericks, it's hard to grade this trade because maybe this is the trade that gets them competitive in the Western Conference. A Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis pick and roll should be incredible, but it's just such a shocking trade nonetheless. I mean, for right now, I have to give the Mavericks a D+. I mean, maybe this is one of those trades that we look back on and we think it's a great trade, but as of right now, you just traded away the face of your franchise for a 31-year-old center, and personally I think Luka's value is significantly greater than that. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this insane trade? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike,
and that's gonna do it for this video here. I think going into detail about this enough. That's enough talking outside of Boston sports nowadays, but I'll end it like this. Celtics broke another franchise, making them think about their core, like, hey, do we have enough to win right now? And forcing a team basically to make a dumb move. Sorry, guys. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos here. Subscribe now if you guys new. You guys know what to do. Go check out the website. The link is in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching this video here. It's been your boy Jesse, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys. Wow, what a night last night was.